Hello there friends, Greg here. Now today I would like to talk about some of the upcoming attractions and rides that are going to be coming to Walt Disney World in the coming years. Starting with ones that are about to come out in a few days, Toy Story Land, and then talking about attractions that are coming out in the upcoming years. Now the first attraction that I would like to talk about is over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and that is within the new Toy Story Land that is being developed, and that is the Slinky Dog Coaster. Now this is a family-friendly coaster in the vein of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or the Barnstormer over at Magic Kingdom. And from what I understand, this is also a launch coaster, but being a family-friendly coaster, I don't think that this launch is going to be too intense like it is over at the Rock and Roller Coaster. What's neat about this coaster is that it travels all over Toy Story Land, and the theming here is that Andy has built a roller coaster out of his Mega Coaster play kit. I also understand that it concludes with the very first animatronic Wheezy the Penguin, who will be singing you a song as the ride is over. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see it open in a couple of days. The next attraction is also over at Toy Story Land, and that is the Alien Swirling Saucers. Now, you may remember the aliens from the Toy Story movies. They worship the claw that comes down. Basically, this is a swirling, spinning ride, kind of like the Mater's Junkyard Jamboree over at Disney's California Adventure. And I also understand that the claw is part of the ride. It probably appears somewhere in the middle, and I don't know, maybe you're kind of trying to avoid being picked up by the claw or something. I'm sure it's pretty fun there. Both the Slinky Dog Coaster and the Swirling Saucers will open on June 30th along with Toy Story Land over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now the next attraction I'm really excited about, it's also opening over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but not until summer of 2019, and that is the Millennium Falcon ride at the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, I'm super excited about this ride. And from what I understand, you're going to be able to fly the Millennium Falcon yourself with some other companions in the cockpit with you. I'm sure some of them are going to be shooting. Not everybody can be Chewbacca and Han Solo in this scenario. Now what's neat about this Millennium Falcon ride is that supposedly your performance is going to be recorded and somehow brought into play when you come into the main Star Wars land. Like for example, if you were to go to the cantina, the bartender might recognize you as being a terrible pilot and he might say something. But somehow there's going to be a level of interactivity from your performance on the actual ride. So that sounds really, really cool. I hope there is a walkthrough as part of the queue area or something where you get to kind of get a feel for what the inside of the Millennium Falcon is really like. It's super exciting, I can't wait. And the next attraction is also going to be in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and I think they're calling this the First Order Escape of some kind. I get the feeling this is going to be a ride where you're shooting guns and you're in a vehicle with multiple guests. It's probably going to be something similar to the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin on a much grander scale. As you're traveling through it, you can see the two walkers that are inside. So apparently you're in some huge hangar. I'm guessing you're shooting as you're trying to escape the First Order. I'm excited to see what these giant walkers are going to look like inside of this hangar. Now both of these attractions are going to open up in summer of 2019 at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but we'll get a better idea of what these rides are like when we see their counterparts open in California a few months earlier. I can't wait. The next attraction I want to talk about is also at Hollywood Studios. Seems like Hollywood Studios is getting the most updates. The Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway ride that has replaced, sadly, the Great Movie Ride. Now Disney is calling this a 2.5D ride. Apparently, you don't need 3D glasses to see all of the neat effects that are coming at you. This is going to be a very interesting attraction when it does open. Now the other interesting thing about this ride is that it's going to be the very first ride that features Mickey Mouse. After all this time, they have never had a Mickey Mouse centric ride. So it's very exciting to see what they're going to do with this. Some of the details about this ride say that it's a zany kind of ride where you're zipping around really quickly and everything. It makes me wonder if this is going to be a trackless ride, much like the next ride that I would like to talk about, which is the Ratatouille ride that they're building over at Epcot Center. This ride is not slated to open until 2021, but I get the feeling that they want to open this before the 50th anniversary. I'm thinking that this is going to open around 2020. Now, they already have a Ratatouille ride over in Euro Disneyland, and basically this is a trackless ride where you travel through scenes from the movie. There are giant set pieces there. It doesn't appear that there's any animatronics. It's all screen based, but you get to zip around in your mouse vehicle and see different scenes from the movie. Alright, so the next attraction that I want to talk about is something that is very, very exciting to me, and it is the new TRON Coaster that they're going to be building at Magic Kingdom behind Space Mountain. Now, I also understand that this ride is going to open before the 50th anniversary in 2021, and that seems about right for Disney's construction schedule. Now, on the TRON Coaster, you're going to be riding on a light cycle from the TRON Legacy movie, and apparently it is a launch coaster that zips you outside, back around, and into a show building that is very similar, I would say, to the Rock and Roller Coaster, although that one is completely enclosed. This one takes you outside for a few moments. This is going to be the exact same coaster that's in Shanghai, I believe it's where it's located. Man, it looks so incredible, it looks so much fun. I cannot wait for the TRON Coaster. Now, the next attraction that I want to talk about is at Epcot Center, and it is going to be the replacement for Universe of Energy, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Now, I have a little mixed feeling about them totally replacing a classic Disney Epcot attraction with a roller coaster, but taking it face value, I am very excited about a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Now, this is also going to be a launch coaster like the Slinky Dog coaster, like the TRON coaster, like the Rock and Roller Coaster. This is going to be completely enclosed, but the actual coaster itself is being built behind the original Universe of Energy Pavilion. Now, that pavilion is going to be used for the pre-show area, the queues, the shops, the loading, the unloading areas. So this should be very interesting. I cannot wait to see what's going to come of the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Now, inside, I presume you're going to see some kind of scenes from the movie as you're zipping around the coaster. Maybe you'll see Rocket and Groot and Star-Lord, and this has got to be set in space. So you might see the Milano, which is Star-Lord's ship. Yeah, I'm very, very excited about this ride coming in too. And from what I understand, it's going to be completed in 2021. So that's a couple of years away. Now, the next attraction that I'm really excited about is, it's not really a ride per se, but it's the Star Wars Hotel, which is not going to be opening until, we don't know. There's no opening date for the Star Wars Hotel, but from what I've seen, it's going to be built outside of Disney's Hollywood Studios, and there's going to be some way of connecting it to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Clearly, this is going to be a really unique hotel based off of the concept art that I've seen, with screens that look out into space, and there's some form of interactivity. I'm not really certain how this is all going to work. There's probably stations down in the lobby where you're trying to defeat the First Order or escape the First Order or something to that effect. And the rooms are going to be themed as though you're on a ship in the Star Wars universe looking out into the stars. I imagine you could be sleeping and suddenly a Star Destroyer kind of zips in and starts shooting you while you're sleeping. I don't know. That would be pretty interesting. Now, the next attraction, I guess, again, it's not really an attraction per se, but it is going to be at Epcot Center, and it is the Space Restaurant. The opening date for this is unknown, but very similar to the Star Wars Hotel. As you're eating your space ice cream, you're going to be looking out into the stars, seeing astronauts float by, and no doubt space stations and spaceships zipping by. And it's going to be built between Mission Space and the Test Track Pavilion. Now, we thought that maybe Wonders of Life was going to be converted into the space restaurant, but it turns out that they're just going to keep using it as the festival center for the food and wine event. Last but not least, probably the thing that I may be most excited about of all of the attractions at Walt Disney World, and that is the replacement for the monorails. Now, the current monorails have been in service for about 30 years, and the way I understand it, they only have a 20-year lifespan built into them. As you may have heard in the news lately, they've kind of been having some issues lately, let's just put it that way. Now, they're going to be built by the same company who built the last set of monorails, a company called Bombardier. Now, I'm pretty sure that the new monorails are going to look just like the original iconic monorail that we are so used to seeing at Walt Disney World. Another thing that I've heard about these monorails is that they're going to be fully automated. I guess it makes more sense that a futuristic transportation system should be controlled by a futuristic computer system. So those are the attractions coming to Walt Disney World in the next several years that I am the most interested in. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know down in the comments. I'd be excited to hear what you have to say about some of these new attractions in the coming future. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you in the future.
Oh boy!